If you are an adult and you have to take care of yourself when you're sick and you've ever driven to the store in search of immune boosting herbs and found the shelves to be empty, it's not a good feeling. But it doesn't have to be as scary as it could be, especially if you have a few really basic tools in your home and in your tool belt for making your own herbal medicine. So this is not really information that's like meant to be special for just herbalists to have. My grandmother was not an herbalist. My grandmother, she got a job with something called the VNA, the Visiting Nurses Association, and she did elder care. So she helped people get onto and off of the toilet and bathed them well into the, after she was an elder herself. And you know, she still knew how to take a little bit of rue and stuff it in a bottle of isopropyl alcohol and make herself a rub for a muscle rub for her legs, because she would have leg cramps at night. And these are just basic life skills that it only takes like 1 or 2 generations to completely lose and then feel like it's this mystical path that is somehow unavailable to us. And that's just not the case. So I'm going to show you how to make an Echinacea tincture today, and hopefully it will either remind you about this amazing plant or be the beginning of a journey of empowering self-reliance in moments of dis-ease. Blessings. Before we begin, I'd like to share a few things. The first one is, for those of you who might be wondering why you might want to make your own Echinacea tincture when you can just buy it in the store, health food stores, even regular grocery stores often have this brand called Herb Farm that is tinctures, which is what we're talking about today. And so in the wintertime, in cold and flu season, things like Echinacea and any kind of immune boosting blend are the first to go, and the first to become unavailable. The next thing that I want to share is just a little bit about how to prepare to create your own medicines. You will want to consider the menstruum or the liquid, the extracting agent, because there are a number of things that are effective, some more than others. So my 2 favorites are 100 proof vodka. There are other kinds of alcohol, like, you know, we have a beautiful artisan brandy that we like to get from a biodynamic farm, but it is on the pricier side. It's not suitable for making bulk medicines that we use a lot of, and it's a lower alcohol percentage by volume, so it is not as strong. And there's lots to say about this, but I was taught that herbal medicine is the people's medicine and that we use what we have. And so 100 proof vodka is often available at neighborhood liquor stores down on the last shelf in the corner in the back, because it's not a popular drinking alcohol, and it's inexpensive. Then another favorite that we obviously buy in bulk is organic apple cider vinegar or non-organic apple cider vinegar. Again, we use the best that we have when making medicine. And so I'm going to use vodka today because it lasts longer, and an Echinacea tincture on the shelf will continue to release its medicinal constituents into the menstruum for up to a year. And so I want to make sure that it's not spoiling, and with a vinegar tincture you have to consume it faster. A vodka tincture is shelf stable indefinitely. So making medicine, we can think of it, if we're new to it, as an extension of canning, just canning and preserving, which was a basic survival skill that all of us would have had in the past, because we would have had seasons where we had a bounty, and then that needed to be preserved for seasons where we had less. So once you have decided on your menstruum, that is going to determine the jar, because most alcohol tinctures can be easily made in a baby food jar, any kind of leftover jar you might have around, mason jars, which if you're canning or storing things plastic free in your home, then you probably already have. And again, they're inexpensive and available at discount stores, at specialty stores. They're durable. If you are making a vodka tincture or a vodka extract, this is it for you. But if you're making a vinegar extract, then you will need to either buy the special lid packs that are for the same canning jars, and the silicone liner so that it doesn't leak and they fit on the same jars. Or if you don't have that available, then this works fine too. It's just putting a piece of plastic wrap or parchment paper in between the lid and the vinegar so the vinegar doesn't leach metal out of the lid into your medicine. You'll be able to taste it. You don't want that. So once you've determined your jar, then you will need to source your herbs. If you grow your own, that's wonderful. If you have friends that you can buy from, please support your local growers. It's such a blessing to have them. And if not, then you can go to a small local herb shop where, you know, I'm gonna pay about $30 for this half an ounce, which is still a great deal compared to buying a pre-prepared medicine, or and also worth it to support the small shops in the neighborhood, or places like Star West Botanicals or Frontier Co-op, which are online bulk herbal resources that are many of the people in the community that make medicines source from. And what you're going to want when making an Echinacea tincture, to the best of my knowledge, is Echinacea angustifolia root. Now there's angustifolia and purpurea, and I was taught that the purpurea loses a lot of its potency in the alcohol tincture and the angustifolia does not. So I found that to be really important and true, and I passed that on to you. And next we're just going to show you how easy it is to start making your own herbal medicine at home today.
First, you'll want to begin with a clean, dry surface to ensure your medicine does not become compromised in a home kitchen environment, which is likely many degrees less rigorously controlled than a lab or commercial facility. A wide mouth funnel is extremely handy, although not required. Add your plant material to your jar. For dried plants, fill the jar about 1/3 full, since the plant material will expand when you add your menstruum. For fresh plant material, you can fill the jar anywhere between 3/4 to completely full. Next, pour in your menstruum of choice in an amount of around 2/3 for dried plants. If working with fresh plants, add enough liquid to cover the plant material by about 1 inch. Put the lid on your jar and give it a good shake. Some folks recommend shaking every day. With many plants, this is not 100% necessary, but with Echinacea, the menstruum will pull a substance called inulin from the roots, which is a healing medicine unto itself, but can be thick, sticky, and effectively glue your roots together in a solid brick at the bottom of the jar if you're not careful. So this is definitely one you'll want to shake daily, at least for the first week or so. Next, you'll want to label your jar. You can get fancy with this if it brings you joy. We tend to just use masking tape and a Sharpie. For more information on the importance of labeling, you can visit our IGTV Witch Tip, The Importance of Labeling Your Medicines, through the link in the description below, where you'll find almost 100 free witch tips for those living in earth-based, conscious, plant, and people-loving communities.
Once your medicine is complete, you'll just want to leave it for 6 weeks to a year in a cool, dry place, and you can start using it anytime after 6 weeks with either a dropper bottle or just spooning out a teaspoonful. And the dosage with Echinacea is really important. A lot of the dropper bottles say to take 30 drops, maybe once or twice a day. I was taught that's not enough. That at the first signs of symptoms, you'll want to take 2 ounces a day, not all at once, because this is an alcohol tincture, so 2 ounces is a shot, so you would be drinking. But a teaspoonful in 2 ounces of water, 3, 4, 6 times a day in the beginning, and then continuing for a significant period of time after all of your symptoms have abated. And so what I have here, this is a 2 ounce cup, and I just have about 1 ounce of water in it. And so I would add add my teaspoonful or dropperful. And I'm doing that throughout the day until I start to feel better. And so, 10 days, it's not unusual, and it's not bad for you either. So you can, this is a safe, effective medicine. So what we made today, this would have cost about $480 if I were to purchase this amount of Echinacea in the store. And because this is such a beloved herb for me and for my family that we work with year round, we normally make between 2 and 4 quarts at a time when we make Echinacea tincture. So this would be about $1,800 worth of medicine if I were to buy it in the store, and I made it for around $140 tops. And it's basically enough for 4 people with your average amount of illnesses 10 days in duration each for a year. And so we like to make enough for ourselves and a little bit to share with our friends, our neighbors, our community. And we hope that if you're in a position to do so, that you will too. If you're feeling inspired to start creating your own herbal remedies at home, then we invite you to click the link below to visit us over on Patreon, where you will find lots of recipes and Earthside survival guides, including our newest guide to doing your own effective herbal online research. Blessings.